Everybody's mad at police now. I watched that. You see that shit on Netflix? The making a murderer, the Stephen Avery story. Yeah, well, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Stephen Avery is in more trouble than any white person in the history of the United States has ever been in. And a justice system designed for him to thrive, he's failed miserably twice. I can't even wrap my mind around it. If Making a Murderer was about a black dude, that shit would be called Duh. Of course everything can go wrong. Seems like he did it all right. The motherfucker even had $200,000 for his legal defense. That should get you off in Wisconsin. That's like OJ money. All he needed to get off that he didn't have was a single black juror. That's all it would have took. Because only a black dude in the United States can look at 11 other dudes and be like, I think the police did this shit. He's fucked up in the game. That's how OJ got off. I've been watching that new OJ show. I can't get enough of that shit. Doesn't it bring back good memories? But I forgot how like just how polarizing that OJ case was. And you know, I've met OJ Simpson on 4 different occasions in my life. And before the end of the show, I will tell you about each of those occasions. The first time I met O.J. Simpson, I was in Santa Monica.
Santa Monica?
Yeah. I can't believe a black dude was like, Santa Monica. He was the last niggas I was expecting to say that. I see your shoes. You got some Vans on, nigga? What you got on? Santa Monica! You? At the time, I was 18. I had done a show, and then a guy from the club came up and was like, hey, O.J. Simpson's here, and he said he wants to meet you. I said, what? Fuck yeah. I ran down the steps, and O.J. was down there. He was like, hey, yo, man, how are you? It's very good to meet you, and you're doing really good work, and I hope good things happen for you in your life. I was like, man, thanks, Mr. Juice. Standing beside him, well, I don't know the nice way to say this, his soon-to-be slain wife. Ladies and gentlemen, man the fuck up or you're not gonna make it through the end of this show. Just man the fuck up. She's dead, you already know, we know what happened. We don't know who did it, but we know what happened. I should tell you that woman was very nice to me. She actually embraced me. She said, I think you're adorable. And she hugged me. She goes, good luck to you. And she held me for a long time. And I whispered in her ear, bitch, are you trying to get us both killed? I'm just kidding, I didn't say that. But that was the first time in a nutshell. It's good to see so many different people here from so many different ethnicities. Very diverse crowd. Looks like you thought Bernie Sanders was gonna come out in this motherfucker, but surprise, it's me. Yeah, no, you know, I'm happy really to see black people come. You know, a lot of black people don't fuck with me like they used to. But there's a lot of reasons, there's a few reasons you don't see black people at my shows. One is because obviously black people have slower internet connections. I mean, that would be my guess. I don't know what. Actually, my own actions drew a wedge between me and the community I hold so dear. A couple of weeks ago, I was supposed to be in Flint, Michigan for a charity benefit that was supposed to raise awareness for the appalling condition of the water in Flint. I don't know if you know this, but the water in Flint is fucking poisonous. It's actually making people sick. I mean, Hollywood people like, so what? At least they have water. But this water This water's fucked up. So a lot of black celebrities flew into Flint, and they did a tremendous charity benefit, and I was on the schedule to appear. So the reason a lot of people haven't heard about this benefit, it was the same day as the Oscars. Right, I know. So I was on my way to the airport to go to Flint, and then Chris Rock calls me and is like, hey, Dave, I got a ticket for you for the Oscars. Can you make it? And I was like, sure, nigga, I'm on my way to the airport right now. Oh, come on, man. What am I going to do about that water? What am I, a fucking superhero? I need to have fun. I need to live, too. I didn't fuck that water up. Stevie Wonder was there. They didn't need me. I'm sorry, everybody. I've never been to the Oscars. You've seen the movies I make. I was excited as fuck. I knew I was going to get in some trouble because when I was walking in the red carpet, the black press came after me. Excuse me, brother. When you hear somebody call you brother too much, something terrible's about to happen. Excuse me, brother. And then I looked back, and the motherfucker had a tuxedo with the kente cloth tie. I said, uh-oh. He said, I just want to ask you a couple questions. I said, what publication are you with? He said, me, I'm with the Daily Bongo. I said, Daily Bongo? What the fuck? Who the fuck reads this? He said, listen, brother, I just want to ask you a quick question. You understand that this year, this is a boycott for the Oscars, so I'm just wondering what made you, of all people, cross the motherfucking picket line and be here tonight. I said, boycott? Nigga, I haven't been working in 10 years. You mean boycott? I've been on strike. Y'all niggas didn't stop working. I had to watch fucking Key and Peele do my show every night. Fuck the Daily Bongo is what I said. I went to Oscars and had a wonderful time. I went in that fucking green room. It was filled with so many stars, I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. Hollywood was seducing me all over again. I was sitting back there, I'm smoking, drinking with the stars. And then 2 Hollywood movie producers came over right to me. Oh my God, Dave Chappelle, said the leader one. He was obviously gay. Some guys you can just tell. The other one seemed like a money guy, like maybe he was from Texas or some shit. But the gay one was definitely the leader because he did all the talking. And then he hit me with, so David, do you have any movie ideas that you would like to pursue? The truth is, I don't. But if you know the game, you're not supposed to tell motherfuckers you don't have ideas. I was like, yeah, man, I got plenty of ideas. And he called my bluff. Really? Like what? Huh? And then I just started making up shit that I thought maybe he'd like to see. I said, I have a superhero idea. He goes, really? I go, yeah, he's a gay superhero. He was like, really? What's it called? Huh? Oh, it's called Same Hero, New Boots. It's about a gay sous chef in San Francisco. He gets bit by a radioactive rat on his shift when he's taking out the trash. And is blessed with powers beyond his wildest dreams. Supersonic, gay kind of powers. And he starts saving everybody in San Francisco. But at first, he only saves gay people. Later, he saves everybody, and the whole city just falls in love with him. The only problem is, no one remembers him when he saves them. Well, I don't understand. Why wouldn't they remember him? I said, because, dummy, he's gay. He keeps changing his outfit. People come up, thanks for saving, mister. What's your name anyway? And he's like, same hero, new boots, and that motherfucker flies away. He was like, I like it a lot. The Texan didn't like that shit at all. He was upset. That's impossible, gay superhero. I said, what? Well, I have others. I have a superhero you love because he's stronger than Superman and he fights for truth, justice, and the American way like Superman, but more than Superman. He beats up Mexicans for no reason. The Texan's like, you got my attention. I was like, man, this motherfucker is so strong, he can fly and do all this great shit. Only problem with this guy is he can't even activate his powers unless he touches a woman's vagina. Not a long touch, just a couple of pats. The media got on him about putting Jared Kushner in his cabinet, and I didn't think that was the worst thing he'd done. I mean, it was still early, and I mean, it's not unprecedented. Kennedy had his brother as the attorney general, right? And this motherfucker's a Washington outsider. To be honest with you, I'd probably do the same thing. As a matter of fact, I do. You think I go to a Hollywood meeting with all them white folks by myself? I bring my nigga Mac Mittens from the streets. I don't even know his real name. Everybody just calls him Mac Mittens. But I know he's not qualified to even listen to these meetings, but this motherfucker just makes me feel good. And all the white people look at me like, Dave, do you mind asking your friend Mac Mittens to excuse us so that we can talk business? And I say, fuck that. Anything you say to me, Mac Mittens can hear that shit. And he listened to the whole meeting. And when they done talking, I just look over at Mac Mittens, and if he gives me the signal, meow, meow, I'll sign the papers. It's a gut check. Or how about this one? Remember when it was the day after the election, and the president of Taiwan called Donald Trump to congratulate him? And Donald Trump, of course, took the call and talked to the president of Taiwan. Problem with that was, Taiwan doesn't have a president. The United States functions on what they call a one China policy, and Taiwan is a renegade province of said China. And Donald Trump didn't know that and picked up the phone and started yammering away, and the media ate his ass up. And I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing like shit. I was like, oh shit, this dumb motherfucker is in trouble. And then that night, I was in bed drifting off to sleep, and then I had to admit it to myself. I was like, I didn't know that shit either. And then I realized the media got the story wrong. The story wasn't that Donald Trump took the call. The biggest story is that nobody told Donald Trump not to take the call. That's terrifying. God damn, nigga, you don't have a Mac Mittens on your team? It wasn't like they were calling the White House, they were calling the switchboard at Trump Towers, and they were getting through. Anybody. Mr. President, there's a Ricky Ticky Tabby on the phone for you? Yes, put him through. Hello, Ricky Ticky. Good to talk to you. Mr. President, there's a John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith on the phone. Oh, his name is my name too. Put him through. Hello, John Jacob, let's talk business. How many people in this room are not originally from the United States? My round of applause. Where are you from, bro? You right there. Iraq. You're from Iraq? Ew. I was fucking around. How long have you been here in the country?
23 years.
23 years? Are you a citizen yet? You are? Congratulations, nigga, congratulations. Well, welcome to this great land. I'm gonna give you a history lesson, because I'm sure this wasn't on your entry exam. But every naturalized American has heard something about what I'm about to tell you. A picture is the early 50s in the United States. This 14-year-old boy goes down from Chicago to Mississippi to meet his extended family for the first time. He'd never been to Mississippi. And before he went, his mother said to him, very pointedly, she said, if a white man looks you in your eyes in Mississippi, look away. And I don't know what you know about black people from Chicago, but they're not a scared people. Legend has it, He was in front of a convenience store, hanging out with his cousins, having a good time, and a white woman walked out of the store, and he thought she was pretty, and he said, "Bye, baby," not realizing that he had just made a fatal mistake. 4 days later, a group of adult white men burst into this family's home and snatched a 14-year-old boy out of bed in front of his family that was powerless to stop them, and he was never seen alive again. His name was Emmett Till. They found his body maybe a few days later. It was in a creek, tied to a wheel so it would sink, horribly beaten and bloated. Hideous. And lucky for everybody in America, his mother was a fucking gangster. She was. If you can imagine, in the very midst of a mother's worst nightmare, this woman had the foresight to think about everybody. She said, "Leave my son's casket open." She said, "The world needs to see what they did to my baby." And every publication here in the United States, from Jet magazine all the way to the New York Times, had this boy's horribly bloated body on its cover. And if our civil rights movement was a car, this boy's dead body was premium gas. This was a very definitive moment in American history where every thinking and feeling person was like, ugh, we gotta do better than this. And they fought beautifully, and here we all are. And the reason that I bring that up tonight and why it's relevant now is because less than a year ago, the woman that he allegedly whistled at admitted on her deathbed that she lied in her court testimony. And you can imagine when we read that shit, we was like, ooh, you lying ass bitch. Was furious. But that was my initial reaction. And initial reactions that we all learned as we get older are often wrong or more often incomplete. They call this phenomenon standing too close to an elephant. The analogy being that if you stand too close to an elephant, you can't see the elephant. All you see is its penis-like skin. You gotta step back and give it a better look. And on stepping back and thinking about it for a few moments, I realized that it must have been very difficult for this woman to tell a truth that heinous about herself at any point in her life, even the very end. And I was grateful that she had the courage to tell it before she left this world, because it's an important truth and we needed to know. And I said to myself, well, thank you for telling the truth, you lying ass bitch. And then time goes on, and then after time, you can kind of see the whole elephant. And it's humbling, because you realize that this woman lied, and that lie caused the murder. But that murder set in motion a sequence of events that made my wonderful life possible, that made this very night possible. How could this be that this lie could make the world a better place? It's maddening. And that's how I feel about this president. I feel like this motherfucker might be the lie that saves us all. Because I have never felt more American than when we all hate on this motherfucker together. Jesus Christ, it's good. And when it happens, I can see everybody that's struggling. So if I'm on stage and I tell a joke that makes you want to beat up a transgender, then you're probably a piece of shit and don't come see me anymore. Or if you don't understand that when a football player takes a knee during the national anthem, he's actually standing up for me, then you might not want to fuck with me anymore. But I swear, no matter how bad it gets, you're my countrymen, And I know for a fact that I'm determined to work shit out with y'all. And if that woman that said that heinous lie was alive today, I would thank her for lying. And then I would kick her in the pussy. Thank you very much, Washington, D.C. God bless you, and good night. Right. I saw Obama on TV and said, oh, I'm voting for this nigga. I remember the day I voted for Obama. I voted in Ohio, and my vote matters in Ohio. Ohio is a battleground state, but when I pulled up to the polls, all the soldiers were in line. There was so many black people in that goddamn line, I didn't even know it was the polls. I thought it was a check cashing place. We were hugging each other, and old people were singing hymns and spirituals and shit. It was like the OJ verdict times 10 or some shit. I've never seen black people that happy. 8 years later, I'm pulling up to the polls again. This time, I'm driving a brand new Porsche because the Obama years were very good to me. I was early voting, and when I parked my car, I figured out something that it would take the rest of the country another week to figure out. I understood that Donald Trump was going to be our next president because in Ohio, unlike D.C., you could see the results in the parking lot. Saw these goddamn pickup trucks and tractors and shit. And then I walked up and I saw a long, long line of dusty white people. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, these were the poor whites. And I must tell you, I've never had a problem with white people ever in my life. But full disclosure, the poor whites are my least favorites. We've gotten a lot of trouble out of them. And I'd never seen so many of them up close. I looked them right in their coal-smeared faces. And to my surprise, you know what I didn't see? I didn't see one deplorable face in that group. I saw some angry faces and some determined faces, but they felt like decent folk. No, they did. In fact, I'm not even lying, and I didn't sound fucked up, but I felt sorry for them. I know the game now. I know that rich white people call poor white people trash. And the only reason I know that is because I made so much money last year, the rich whites told me they say it at a cocktail party. And I'm not with that shit. And I stood with them in line like all of us Americans are required to do in a democracy. Nobody skips the line to vote. And I listened to them. I listened to them say naive, poor white people things. Man, Donald Trump's gonna go to Washington and he's gonna fight for us. And I'm standing there thinking to my mind, you dumb motherfucker. You are poor. He's fighting for me. And they all looked at me. They could tell who I was voting for just as easily as I could tell who they were voting for. But do you guys know what we all had in common? Not one of us, not a single one of us, looked like we felt good about what we had to do in that booth. We were just doing our goddamn duty. Yes, I voted for Hillary Clinton. Of course I did. I voted for her because I liked what she said vastly better than I liked what he said. But to be honest with you, at that point, that shit was like watching Darth Vader do the I Have a Dream speech. That bitch is mean as hell. She'd already Karate Kid swept Bernie Sanders' legs from underneath him. Boy, it was hard voting for that shit. But it was the lesser of the evils. I know you were a Clinton supporter, Miss I. I'm sorry to say like that. It didn't feel bad voting for her, but it didn't feel as good as it should have. She was gonna be our first woman president. They were gonna make coins out of this bitch. And somehow she just missed the dunk. Of course she should have beat him. Of course she should have beat him. You know what voting for her felt like? It was bittersweet. It felt like I was lucky enough to eat Halle Berry's pussy. And whilst I was doing so, she fucking farted in my face, man. Now you understand, I'd still do it. But boy, I wish she didn't fart in this great nation's face. Thanks for not giving me a standing O, motherfuckers. This is the worst. It's all right. It's all right. I just wanted to smoke. You like that, don't you? Okay. Before I did Killing Them Softly, when I was 22, HBO gave me the biggest opportunity of my life at that time. They gave me a half-hour special, but this shit was not like a special, you know what I mean? It was like, it was generic. It didn't even have a title. It was just Dave Chappelle. And I shot it in San Francisco at a place called Broadway Studios, which is on the second floor of a building. And beneath Broadway Studios is a nightclub. And the special was only supposed to be 30 minutes. And I got ready, I practiced, I did all the shit I was supposed to do. And the night that I taped, 20 minutes into my 30-minute set, I'll never forget this, music started blasting from the nightclub underneath. You could hear it real loud, and it fucked my whole show up, and I was devastated. I was a young man. I really believed in what I was doing, and I thought that my dream had been killed. So when I got off stage, I ran down the steps to the alley behind Broadway Studios and where the control trucks are parked, and I kicked that motherfucking door open, and I started yelling at all the producers. I was nobody in show business, just a guy that believed in us. I said, man, so you fucked everything up. That fucking music, what the fuck were you thinking? And there was a guy who was a big-time producer, I ain't saying no names, and he stood up, and he said, hey, kid, sit the fuck down. He said, we didn't ruin anything. He said, we made a deal with that nightclub to not play music, and they didn't honor the deal. And I said, who didn't honor the deal? And he pointed to a guy. I'll never forget it. It was an old white man sitting in the Ford Taurus by himself. And he said, that guy right there. And I didn't waste no time or ask no questions. I went to that Ford Taurus and I beat on that window and I said, open the door, motherfucker, I want to talk to you. And that old man looked at me for 1 second and wisely drove the fuck off. And left me in the alley cussing at anybody who would listen. And 2 minutes later, literally 120 seconds later, couldn't have been any more than that, the doors of the kitchen in the alley of that nightclub underneath Broadway Studios flung open. And that old man was standing there, that same old man with reinforcements. He had 2 big goons with him, and he looked at me, and he was calm as a cucumber. He said, you, come here. I want to talk to you. I didn't know anything about the streets at this age. But I found out later in my life that these men were Russian mobsters. And I don't know what you guys know about the Russian mob, but these are the niggas that killed Denzel in Training Day. And all the producers knew what I was up against. They said, Dave, do not go in there. And I said, fuck y'all. And I walked right into that kitchen, and they closed the doors behind me, and it got dark as fuck in there. And I knew, I'm not dumb, I knew I was in a bad situation. But you have to understand, I believed in what I was doing, and I didn't give a fuck. Just kept cussing at these motherfuckers, telling them how they ruined my life. And that old man couldn't believe that I was talking all this shit. And as soon as I took a breath, he stopped me gently. He said, hey, kid, listen. Your friends lied to you. He said, we made a deal, but your friends never paid me. And when he said that, I realized I was locked in the kitchen. I realized he was telling the truth, which would make me wrong. And the very moment that I realized I was wrong, for the first time, I was afraid. You see, it's a funny thing if you believe you're absolutely right. You can get drunk off the feeling of how right you are. That's why gay people are so mean. But I didn't buckle. You guys would have been very proud of me. I was scared, but I didn't buckle. I said, well then, sir, I owe you an apology. But I believe that no matter what reason that music was playing, it ruined my life. And that old man looked at me with sympathy in his eyes. And he walked over to me and he gently placed his hand on my cheek, which I gotta tell you, is a very emasculating thing to do. I was standing there looking at this nigga's hand on my cheek like, and he said, you are a real man. And he tapped me on my cheek. Real soft. Just like that. The doors opened back up. The light from the alley flooded into the kitchen. And I just walked out alive. I lived to fight another day. And in that moment, I learned one of the most valuable lessons of my life, and I have to share it with you. And that lesson is this. In your life, in any given moment, the strongest dream in that moment wins that moment. I am a very powerful dreamer. Yeah, I'm not lying. I dreamed tonight, this very night, as a 14-year-old boy, and I am living it as a 50-year-old man. My dreams are very strong. Today, I walked all around Washington. I used to be poor in this city, and all day people just said, hey, Dave, like they knew me personally, and I felt like I knew them. And I say to myself, my God, Dave, what a powerful dream. But then sometimes I feel regular. Just feel like myself. Maybe I'll smoke some weed and be at some nightclub and feel shy. But I'll look across the nightclub and I'll see some guy that no one's ever heard of. But this nigga worked all week and got bottle service. And there's bitches bringing Moet with sparklers to him. And I picture in my mind he's Persian. He's doing some kind of weird Persian dance. And he got 6 bitches at his table because he got so much liquor, and they all call him saying, go Cena, go Cena. And I'll be looking across the room like, oh my God, I'm in that guy's dream. I can hear him telling his friends, hey, how was the club last night? Man, that shit was fantastic. I had bottle service. I seen Dave Chappelle across the club looking at me like, ooh, who was that? And that's the trick to life. You have to be wise enough to know when you were living in your dream. And you have to be humble enough to accept when you're in someone else's. It's why I don't judge between Will Smith and Chris Rock. because you guys look at them as big ideas, but I look at them as fellow dreamers. I can't judge between them because I see myself in both of them. I am Will Smith. I am the man that cannot take it anymore and will slap the shit out of the next person that says a crossword to me or somebody that I love. And I am Chris Rock. I am the man that can get slapped in front of the whole world and keep my composure so I don't fuck anything up. That is what men do. Men make boundaries. Men enforce boundaries. And men test boundaries. And no man tests more boundaries than a trans man.
This is where you guys should applaud and go crazy. I'll wait. Dave, I see why you wear these. They are so comfortable. Look at this room, y'all. Look at this room. Look at the people we got here at this party. Yes. Comedians, actors, and musicians are all here for one man. We're all here because Dave brings people together in a way that maybe no one else in the world can. I met Dave over 20 years ago, and we've been friends ever since. Dave, you have always been my mentor, my big brother, and every time I step on stage, every time, I think of you because I've always want to make you proud because you're the GOAT. You know, you're the greatest. What I love about Dave is his spontaneity. My favorite story with Dave was on Christmas, one year after I finished feeding the homeless at the Laugh Factory. I do that every year because I never forget where I came from. Not the Laugh Factory, homeless. Dave called me to meet him for drinks. And when I arrived, I see him there with Marlon Wayans, and I was like, what are y'all fathers doing here on Christmas? Shouldn't y'all be with y'all kids? And Dave said, who are you, Scrooge? Bitch, have a drink. So we laughed and joked till about 1 a.m. And Dave was like, y'all wanna go bowling? And we were like, ain't no bowling alley open on Christmas this late. Like, what you talking about? And he started laughing. He said, do you realize I'm Dave Chappelle? He made a phone call, and then we jumped in his SUV, and then we started going up this hill, and then we pulled up to these huge gates. I mean, huge. I was like, are we finna be bowling at Jurassic Park? We get out the car, go to the door, and guess who opened the door? Guess who opened it? I said gas, bitch, gas. Eddie Murphy opened the door. We was at Eddie Murphy's house. We was at Eddie Murphy's house. And I was like, and Dave was like, calm down, calm your ass down so we get kicked out. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Axel Foley got a bowling alley. Man, we must have talked and laughed and shared stories for hours. And that's the kind of guy Dave is, just spontaneous. And he's magical, and he's a horrible bowler.
I'm Paul Felicity.
I'm
How are you?
Tiffany Haddish.
I
Nice
know
to
we
meet
know
you.
who you are. My wife Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
Hi, you were great.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that was
Thank you.
great.
And I just try to represent for the lady.
Shaking you.
Yeah, you did. We were moving with you, babe.
I did the first show ever this club.
What?
That was in 92. Time flies.
Yeah, man. Time ain't no joke.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the DC Improv.
Ain't no smoking in here, mother.
Hey, man, you know why we do it.
It's Dave's night. It's Dave's weekend. All right.
Dave, you the man. You bring out everybody. Dave Chappelle, he got the Mark Twain Award. Give it up for Dave. Mark Twain Award. Making some whole bunch of damn. You know you're making a bunch of money. You getting a Mark Twain Award. I just barely know who Mark Twain ass is.
Man, I cannot tell you what it is like to get an honor like this in this very city I started from. In fact, little trivia for you. The first show in this very room, I was the first comedian on stage. It was me, a guy named Brian Regan, and some dyke named Ellen DeGeneres. We didn't know she was gay back then. We were all trying to get some pussy. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was a comedy club. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be America's last safe place to say what you feel like saying and laugh at what you feel like laughing. This is sacred ground.
Live comedy is the most incredible thing in the world to me. You're standing up there like a gladiator. Maybe that's the only time that I feel like myself.
At 19, he's the youngest comedian in Star Search history. From Washington, D.C., here is Dave Chappelle.
I don't know if they've mentioned this. I was recently on Black Entertainment Television. I kind of have a feeling most of you haven't seen that. I don't know why. I used to think all white people were happy just to be white. I thought y'all stood around fucking I'm white. This feels great. Taxi, just checking.
I spoke at my old high school and I told them kids straight up, if you guys are serious about making it out of this ghetto, you gotta focus, you gotta stop blaming white people for your problems, and you've gotta learn how to rap or play basketball or something, nigga, you're trapped. You are trapped. Either do that or sell crack. That's your only options. That's the only way I've ever seen it work. You better get to entertaining these white people. Get to dancing.
I used to watch a fucking cartoon when I was growing up called the Care Bears. They were like teddy bears, but they were like people, and they all fucking just walked around caring. They cared about each other and everything else. And when shit got real bad, they got determined. And the leader would say, come on, guys, it's time for the Care Bear stare. Remember that shit? And them little teddy bears would lock arms and stare at the problem. And I'm not even bullshitting. Actual love would shoot out of their chest. And when we grew up, we wanted to be like those bears. And then we got our hearts broken. Because we found out that life wasn't gonna let us do that. And that it's impossible to shoot love out of your chest. However, I have shot love onto somebody's chest before.
I got up, nigga, try to fix my goddamn gown. He gonna take the glove off all seductively. One finger at a time. Gonna look me in the face. Give me a box of tissues, tell me to wipe yourself off. Pull your drawers up. Follow me in the other room. I said, this nigga just assaulted me. I've been raped. I went and bought me a Me Too t-shirt. I went all to the meeting. I like, me too, bitches, me too. Y'all gonna hear what happened to me in that doctor's office. I got a story to tell. I left that doctor's office, ass just slippery. Slid all the way to the elevator. Couldn't even look another man in the face. I like, he broke me in there, he broke me in there. See the gay dude, I like, you a soldier. You could take a dick, I couldn't take a pinky. You tough, Twan, you tough. If you taking a dick every night, these ain't jokes. And black people, we done voted Trump out, but we ain't killed this motherfucker. He's still alive politically. White people believe in him right below Jesus. Oh, they believe in his ass. They just lying to good white folks. Stop the steal. They just stole the vote. Fraud. Irregularity with voting. See, black people, I don't never want y'all ever to say your votes don't count. The reason why they got all these problems, changing all the Republicans, changing all the goddamn rules for voting is because we showed the fuck up. I mean, I tell my white friends all the time, if you're gonna lie on black people, at least get a lie that's believable, nigga. You want the whole world to believe that niggas went down there and voted 2 times? We commit a lot of crimes, but we don't fuck with that paperwork. But you can't say no, you can't tell a Trump supporter nothing about Trump. Oh, yeah, not my Trump. They love motherfucking Trump. People ask me all the time, Quake, what kind of woman you looking for in your life? I said, nigga, I'm looking for a woman like a Trump supporter. No matter what she hear about me, that bitch don't believe shit. I heard he got another woman. That's fake news, baby. That's fake news. Don't listen to them hoes. They're the enemy of the state. These ain't jokes. I knew Trump was the pimp of all pimps, nigga, when he came here and sent the motherfuckers up here January the 6th. He told the motherfuckers, meet me here January the 6th. They came up there like he was Moses. Just stepping. I never seen so many RVs, pickup trucks, white women with no teeth. They was everywhere. And then he came out and talked. Did the speech. Their old motherfucking fearless leader. Right now, they're in there trying to certify the steal. You're not doing anything. They're stealing your vote. If you allow what happened in there, you're not going to have a country. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to walk down to the Capitol and stop them. I'm going to go with you, and I'm going to meet you there. Trump went home. That nigga was at the crib, just chilling. White people was going crazy, nigga. They was knocking shit over, whooping police asses, climbing all on the wall and shit. I was watching that shit on TV. All I was wishing is, ooh, I wish I was a Capitol Police working that day. If I was there, I would have been like, pat, 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 pat. What you doing? Saving democracy. Pat, 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 pat. These motherfuckers everywhere. Pat, 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 pat. You ain't gonna use your gun. Give it to me. Pat, 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 pat. Oh, they got that motherfucker with that Confederate flag. Pat, 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 pat. Click, click, click. Pat, 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 pat. Oh, I would have tore their ass up. I'd have called my boy. I told you, be a security guard. Pat, 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 pat. I'm shooting Trump supporters on the clock. Pat, 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 pat. Don't punch me out. I'm gonna do overtime today. Pat, 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 pat. What's your name, boy? Christopher Addicts. Pat, 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 pat. Believe me, if I was working, they would have got off them steps. Stop the steal. Pat, pat, pat. This nigga serious. Back up, Billy Bob. Trump ain't got no cut. He ain't give a fuck. I knew he ain't had no cut when he told John McCain, you ain't no war hero. They say, why? Because he got captured. I like soldiers that don't get caught. John McCain hated that motherfucker till the day he died. They say you don't supposed to take a grudge to your grave. John McCain like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna tell you something, if you down for Trump, against Trump, or even if you are Trump, you gotta look yourself in the mirror. You know you're a fucked up individual when a nigga don't want you at his funeral. They said John McCain's last words are like, tell that nigga not to come. They said, what about the repast? If he coming to church, I'm gonna walk out the casket. Like, damn, he blocked that nigga like Facebook. You can say what you want to say about John McCain, but that motherfucker was a war hero. I'm telling you. That motherfucker was a prisoner of war, dog. He got shot behind enemy lines fucking with them Viet Cong niggas. They fucked John up. If you want to know what John McCain went through, all you got to do is watch the first Rambo. They pulled his nails out, put bamboo in his ass. When you see John McCain, that nigga was walking like this. He couldn't even salute. How you doing? They fucked John up. But what made him a man's man? Do you know John McCain was being tortured for 5 years straight? He could have got out early because his father was an admiral. And they was going to do a prisoner swap, let him come home early because who his father was. They came down to the torture chamber and came to John McCain and said, look, we got some good news for you. You're going to be able to go home and be with your family. They released him and said, come on, John.
They just let it go. We had everything we needed, but we let it go. I need more in me, all that I comes back to me. The more we talk, the talk is not a tongue. The more we talk, the talk is not a tongue. The more we talk, the talk is not a tongue. The more we talk, the talk is not a tongue. Come close to me, makes me feel so weak. I want it now. What am I gonna do? I want it now. What am I gonna do? I want it now. What am I gonna do? You try to make me take a stand. I really, really worked hard. The more we talk, the talk is not a tongue. The more we talk, the talk is not a tongue. We talk, the talk is not a tongue. The more we talk, the talk is not a tongue. The thing I want to do weeks to go. The thing I want was killed by the one I love. The more we talk, the
Come
talk.
on, let's get the fuck out of here. We've been here for 3 weeks. Don Lemon supposed to be on TV right now. I kept hollering at the TV, let her go. I knew it was long when Aretha got up to change dresses. I'm gonna wear something different in the second half of the funeral. I said the second half? Who has the halftime at a funeral? Let her go. She's supposed to be with the Lord. That funeral was so long, nigga, they held her in Detroit so long. By the time she finally did make it to the pearly gates to get into heaven, an angel came to the door and said, God gone. You supposed to be here 3 weeks ago. He touched you on the 3rd, it's the 21st. I know you the queen, but he the king. You just can't have the Lord just waiting for you, Aretha. This is no kind of respect. You're gonna have to go to hell. That would be fucked up though if you made it to heaven, but you fucked around, got to the gate late. You know, you look on the board like, ooh, my name up there. Oh shit, I made it. You see some of your boy like, damn, you ain't get in. Damn, man, I heard it's gonna be hot where you going. Told you go to Bible study. You taking your time, nigga, I got in. And you get to the gate and you see him locking. You're like, hold up, nigga, I'm here. I ain't moving my foot. I'm supposed to be in there. You just can't lock a nigga out of here. What kind of bullshit is this? They ain't say what time you had to be at the gate. This some bullshit. You be peeping in there. Ooh, it look nice in there. Ooh, heaven, everything they say in the Bible. Nigga, I'm getting in. You be like, come on, man, this is bullshit. I'm on Jesus' list. You're like, ooh, it real nice in there. Did my mama make it? Did she make it into heaven? She did. Can you tell I'm out here? And tell her that angel right there won't let me in. This is some bullshit. You know, if your mother came and seen you was late getting to the gate, she'll cuss your ass off. Fuck wrong with you? Got me using this kind of late. You late, get your ass over there. Late getting there, I'm sorry, man. I was so tired. That was that angel, he hating it and everything. Get your ass over there while I go find Jesus. See, can I get you in? Stand over there with the rest of them heathens. I'm so tired. You go back over there and stand on the side with everybody else that couldn't get in. Nah, I think I'm getting in. My mom been knowing Jesus her whole life. I know she got a +1. Your mama ain't get in. She didn't. Not all. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm about to get in there. I'm gonna get in. When I get in there, you want me to tell somebody you out here? You don't know nobody that made it. All the people you know, you don't know nobody you think made it. Nobody. That's fucked up. Well, here comes Jesus with my mama. I'll see you later, Joel Osteen.